Welcome to the Mina's House podcast. It's the 147th episode of the podcast. We have Skip Marley joining the podcast today. Very excited about that. I'm Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana B.
Dexter C. Stuckey, a.k.a. Dex the One.
Why is your intro getting longer every day?
It gives me whatever aura that I feel. Right now, I'm feeling C. Stuckey right now.
You needed that C.
Is that your middle name?
Yeah. It's
what is
the Facebook name, Twitter name, Instagram name, and it depends on what energy I feel. Today, I feel
What's the actual middle name?
Oh, Chase.
Oh, Texas.
I like that.
Bad.
Why Chase? That should have been your first name.
No, that should have been my middle name.
They're always trying to change somebody's name. That should be the first name.
Chase is a fire name.
It is.
It's some soap opera, I'm sure of it, because my grandma named us all after soap operas that she liked to watch, and then she named us all with D's or J's. So it has to be a D or a J.
Yeah. So let's get right into what's in our feed because we have a guest today, and we are timed.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So I wanted to start by talking about Cardi B. Do we owe her an apology? Because when she announced her divorce, we speculated all up and down. We said maybe Offset had a baby on her. Maybe there was a STD. We came up with all these different reasons why now she filed for divorce. Yeah. When they've had, some rumors of infidelity in their marriage before. She came out and said, there's no baby. There's nothing extreme that has happened. I've just had enough. We don't agree. I'm tired of fighting. So because we speculated on her marriage incorrectly, do we owe this woman an apology?
Is that a serious question? No. Absolutely not. I mean, yeah, we probably shouldn't have threw all this stuff to the wall the way we did, but it's not like we told her. We didn't tweet her and say, hey, is this... We just had opinions about why you finally decided to give up. And also, with these public figures, you guys are always putting this stuff out there. Look, we irreconcilable differences. This is why we broke up. Okay, well, we have to figure out what those differences are. Maybe if you would have just told us this from the beginning, we wouldn't have guessed.
I think we owe her an apology, to be honest. I just think that it perpetuated this speculation on someone else's relationship, and that's not even fair. It's not our relationship, and a lot of people jumped off the bridge and added more pain. I mean, think about this woman announcing to the world she's getting a divorce. This is a hard thing to deal with, and now we added stuff to it, and we making it worse. We owe her an apology.
I'm with Dex. I don't think we owe her an apology. But I do feel bad that she feels like she has to tell. And again, I get Dex's point that they're celebrities and this is what you live for. But I'm like, I do feel bad that she feels like she has to explain what the reasoning is. I don't feel like we owe her an apology, only because even if Cardi was our homegirl and our homegirl tells us nothing, we would be speculating in our service life, our circle, girl, well, he did that the one day. Could that be the reason? And we feel like Cardi is family. So that's the only reason why I don't think we owe her an apology. But I do feel bad that she feels like she has to tell the world a reason.
I think just sometimes social media and the blogs, they add to the madness and the circus of what life is. It's already scandalous enough that after 3 years, after the infidelity, after her fighting the chicks in the strip club, after the alleged sex tape, after everything, that she has to publicly announce this. And I think I'm sympathetic to her because I talk about this all the time. I was in a long-term relationship when I was doing mornings on the radio. And I distinctly remember how me talking about my relationship became kind of part of the show. Inadvertently, it wasn't like he was a character on the show, but I just remember when we broke up, I was having such a hard time dealing with those emotions myself. I didn't even know how to go on the radio and even verbalize, we're not together. Do I owe people an apology? It's my personal life, and it came to a point where people were like, well, why you never talk about him no more? And these are people I've never met. So it's like you're going through those emotions yourself of the demise of your relationship or your marriage. And then you somehow, in a weird way, feel like you owe the public an apology, right? And then, an explanation. And then they start running with their own hypothesis and all these crazy things. And it adds to the pain of I'm going through this really hard situation in my life. So I think we owe the woman an apology. Some people even said she's doing it for the clout.
That was horrible.
Who says they're getting divorced for the clout? I can't.
Well, people do, but obviously Cardi, like she said, she doesn't have to. And, you know, she is very open about the way. And I think, just to back it up, what took people by so much surprises, again, we are in quarantine. We've seen so many videos of them together and like singing songs with culture. So again, we did just assume it had to be something stark. But I still stand on, if it was Mina and you called me, you was with your husband last week and you're like, girl, I filed the paperwork and you don't want to tell me. I'm like, well, wait, let me start writing down my reasons I think.
Yeah, crazy.
But I do feel, to your point, I feel sympathetic, and I know Dex doesn't, but to a lot of these celebrities that feel like they have to give everybody all of their business, or, you know, you're not satisfied, and you're not even satisfied once they give you the full explanation.
I just remember when she got engaged. Well, by that point, she was already married. But when we saw her get engaged on stage, I was right next to her and I was in the dressing room with her like afterwards. And I just remember the joy and how happy she was. So to go from that, Dexter.
You saying that out loud, like you just said that out loud. You don't think that sounds stupid?
Why? What do you mean?
Because he's saying they were already married.
Like you decided to give us a public engagement, though you were already married, but yet it's a problem for you to explain why you got divorced publicly. Like, it's just their relationship is really stupid to me, and I get it. Every relationship, like we had Sukihana on last week, and like she said, every relationship is not a cookie cutter relationship.
Right.
I get that. But to be married and then publicly propose afterwards, like that's silly to me. And I think that their relationship and them breaking up and all this kind of stuff like this, you guys want this public attention.
Well, we'll see what happens, because she filed for divorce before and then never went through with it. You know, he went on that apology tour and she took him back. So we'll see. Ari Fletcher buying Moneybagg Yo a car, a Maybach, for his 29th birthday. Is this excessive? Is this too much?
I'm just going to still go with my air quotes of buying him a car, and I'm just saying this, I've been to many different things where somebody bought someone a car. The car might have been presented, but in most cases in this RE money, when somebody has the money, you're not necessarily buying them the car. You might be presenting them, because I'm pretty sure that's his gift to himself at the end of the day. Who is paying for the car?
First of all, you don't think Ari makes money? I mean,
I think she makes money, but that's money. You know, again, to be buying that expensive of a car.
So here's the messed up part. Say you do buy someone that car and you're not buying it, you're leasing it, right? Because that's what happens a lot of the times, right? So you just signed a lease on behalf of someone else. What? It's just, I just feel like, how do you know that person wants to take on that payment?
Yeah, right. How do you
like, I mean, unless you're paying for a car like cash, like I'm gonna buy this car up front, you know, $80,000, $100,000, whatever the car costs, $50,000. I don't care what kind of car. Unless you're buying it that way, cash, it's like kind of irresponsible to buy somebody a car and give them a lease. Like, how you know they want to have this extra lease every month?
Right. It happens a lot more than you think. That's
right. And especially in that world. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
They have a lease, and then they have to like make sure they can't go over a certain amount of mileage and stuff like this. So you bought me this car, that's more responsibility for me. But I think it's okay that she did it, even if she did lease it. And I mean, if she leased it and he has to pay for it, I don't think that's cool. But if she spent her money on it or used her platform to get the car for him and presented it to him, I don't have an issue with that. I think we should normalize like women making grand gestures for their men too, because he would do the same thing for. He did do that for.
Yeah, he got her a car.
He got her car.
And like it was no big deal. It was normal because that's what you're supposed to do. Or maybe she decided since he got the car for her and it was a lease on it, she's going to do the same thing to him. So now,
well, according to her, he paid for the whole car.
I was about to say, yeah, according to her, it's paid in full. Yeah.
That according to her.
Yeah.
Because that's what people.
We don't know
that's
about this car now.
Right. That's what people were saying. Like, how you bragging when he leased you a car? Like, so I don't know. I just think, I get that they have money, but I just think buying someone a car is excessive. Like you're not married. I get that they have money and it's like, oh, let's throw this money away. But I don't know. And then someone asked her on social media if she wants to get married. She was like, no. I'm like, how you buying somebody a car and you don't even want to marry them?
Maybe a pair of Jordans. Start up.
I don't care how much money I have. Like, I'm not buying you a car if we're not married or like
Jordans or give them a new PS5 or something like that. Like,
that would have been a nice gift. A blinged out PS5.
Right. Yeah. But again, he made the gesture. So I think it's really cool that she's making the gesture back. I think that's really cool about that. But I just think the gesture in general is just excessive, you know? And then like, it's the messaging we send to younger people like, oh, let's just buy a car. Like, this is your girlfriend. Will you buy your girlfriend a car? Like, how long y'all been dating? They haven't even been dating for a year. You're buying somebody a car. Mind you, I think about life in regular people world.
Yeah.
So in regular people world, right, their world, right.
Like Jack said, we looking for Jordans or, like just something like that's like, oh, you spent $250. Like, wow,
right.
You really bought a gift.
Right. Like, oh, you got me a TV. Like the most expensive thing I've ever got anyone was a TV.
That's reasonable though.
Yeah, that's a reasonable gift.
Right. So, I just think it's excessive and yeah, I mean, I get it. That's kind of their life, but, I just think that it's too much. Yeah. So, our topic for today, I started to think about because of Erica Mena and Safari. Mm-hmm. So they unfollowed each other on social media. So this happens all the time, right? You didn't know this, Dex?
No, that's my couple.
Really? You're a fan?
I love them.
Well, apparently they unfollowed each other on social media and people are speculating that they broke up. So I wanted to have that conversation. Like, if you unfollow or block someone on social media, first of all, does that mean that, everything is over? That's A. But then B, also, like, is that petty? Like, should we be doing that? Is it really that serious to go on your social media and block someone and unfollow them and do all that?
I think it can be. I think it depends on what the situation is. Like why, if they did break up, like why did we break up? If you did something that was like foul, like I don't want to see you. Like, yes, I can mute you, but I don't even want the opportunity for you to creep up in my timeline by accident. I don't want to see you.
That's how I feel.
I just feel like again, some people use it as a tool to get, and I'm not saying for clout, but just to get the media talking about it. Because like if you do, to Dex's point, if he did something to her or she did something to him, like it's going to be hurtful in the eyes of what happened, something's going on, because everybody is tuned in to when a person is unfollowed. It's almost like the new way to argue. So instead of you doing this, you're like, you know what, I'm going to follow you on social media and they're going to find out, and now you're going to be, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's how I feel like it is now, the new way to argue.
But I've been told, like, I'm like that because I feel the same way. I feel like if we're not really seeing eye to eye, I just feel like, okay, I'm going to remove you from my energy. And sometimes it's not like a physical removal. Sometimes it's, I don't want to see your post. I don't want to see what's going on in your world. So sometimes, like, I've done it before, but I've been told that it's petty and it's just not the proper way to handle a problem with someone. So what are you supposed to do?
If you remove me, don't ever add me back, though. It's the one-time thing. It's done. After I'm removed, I don't want to be added back. So, like, just make sure this is definitely the end.
Yeah. Oh, you got hard rules. Because me, I'll remove you and unfollow. And then if it comes to a situation where we're back cool again, I'll then,
I'll see now.
Follow you again and see what's going on. But that rarely happens. Like, once I've removed you and unfollowed you, that's it. But that's gonna become very, like, I guess, indicative of people's relationships.
Yeah.
And all of that that's happening. So, all right, I want to move on to kind of a serious topic right now. Breonna Taylor. So the verdict came down in the Breonna Taylor case, and there were 3 officers that people were hoping would get indicted on this case. And one officer was only charged with something called wanton endangerment, 3 counts of that. So it carries a charge of up to 5 years.
Mhm.
And they were saying that wanton endangerment basically means that you entered an area with complete disregard for how your actions could affect other people. So this officer was actually charged for shooting the apartment complex and
Right.
endangering the life of the people in the apartments around Breonna Taylor's, right? No mention of Breonna Taylor, no kinds of manslaughter charges, no murder charges. Only one officer was charged, not all three. What are your thoughts on this?
I've been bothered by it, pretty much all day. I actually like broke down and cried just for her family and having had like victims of murder, but never to this degree of, it being people who are supposed to protect and serve you and it being very public. And when I heard her mom, right before the charge or it came out what the charges would be like seconds before. And one of the things she said was, I haven't even been able to grieve my daughter. And so then, like, I see the charges, and it just like the grief for me felt heavy for that family and just all of us, because for somebody to be charged to be potentially endangering neighbors, but you killed this young woman,
right?
Just like, and then to hear the attorney general basically kind of pass it off onto the federal government, like, oh, that's for them to investigate. It was just really, really, really disappointing.
Yeah. I just think it's really kind of indicative of the announcement that they prepared for this, right? Yeah. They boarded up all the federal buildings.
We kind of knew.
They shut down, right? They shut down the town, like all of that. So
called in the National Guard. That's when I knew Monday night when the National Guard got called in. I'm like, this is not going to go the way we would want it to go. All wanted to go,
or the way it should go,
or the way it should go. Correct.
I just think I'm just really nervous for the rest of the week and the weekend. We just saw this in June with the George Floyd situation, and there was something with the George Floyd where we knew that it could calm it down. And it's like, if you arrest these officers, these people will relax. People are going to protest this verdict. They're going to be upset about it. And then when that happens, there are going to be other people who are going to want to take advantage of that and loot and whatnot. And that's
right. Well, it's very unfortunate. We'll continue talking about that. But right now, our guest of the hour has joined us, the amazing, the incredible Skip Marley. Yes. Hey, Skip. Welcome to the Mina's House podcast. I'm Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana
B.
What's
up? Whoa. Well gone. You good?
The one.
Yes.
You all right?
Where are you? You're in, what room is this?
I love this background.
Right.
This is the studio.
Oh, this is your studio.
Yeah.
So you need like ambiance to make music.
No, but it's nice.
Skip, I'm so proud of you and happy for you.
Thank you. Wow. Yeah, man, all thanks to the Most High. Yeah.
Last time I spoke to you, you had just released Slow Down, and I was just talking about how amazing the song was, and to see all the accolades that you've achieved since then. I mean, let's run them down. I know you're humble, Skip, but we're going to run down these accolades because you deserve them. So back then we talked about how you were the first Marley to have a top 10 hit. Now you're actually the first Jamaican-born artist to hit #1 on the adult R&B chart, the first Jamaican-born artist to break the top 15 on the Billboard Hip Hop and R&B chart in 15 years. Yeah. I mean, how incredible! Right?
Yeah. Big up to the people, Big up to everybody who support the music, Yeah, it's all thanks to them,
That doesn't mean anything to you, Skip. You're always so humble.
Yeah, it's not about those things, It's past those type of things,
More people should be like you. Like, more of us should have type of energy too.
Yeah, it's a whole different energy, It's on a whole different sphere,
Yeah, just the passion to create and all the things that you've been creating and doing is just amazing.
That is great, But it's thanks to the people, Big up the people, them. Because it's not me make it,
So when your team is like, look what you did, you're like, just relax, just chill out.
Yeah. Yeah, even posting about it, I'm like, no, man. No.
So when we were talking about you, I said to them, he's different. Like when you're around them, it's just a different energy. And now I guess they're starting to see it.
Right, I feel it.
Right, you feel? I told you. So there's this Marley energy, right? So I've been around a couple of your uncles, and every time you're around a Marley, it's like like I don't even know how to describe the energy. It's like
what you say? Natural thing, man.
But speaking of you being a Marley, like and just coming from such a gifted family, and there are a lot of you, and everybody is totally gifted in their own way.
Yeah.
Like I think it's amazing that even though you had this very gifted family, you really self-taught yourself how to play multiple instruments. So are y'all just born? It's just in the blood, like that's just it. It's just in the blood.
Yeah, and you know, being around it too, you know, definitely helped. You know, always seeing it, visualizing it. You know, you have to visualize certain things. You know what I mean? So that was a thing for me as a youth. You know, I always visualize myself. You know, in my uncles and mother's shoes. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, and my grandfather and grandmother's shoes. So.
Yeah. So your EP, your debut EP is out right now. It's called Higher Place. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
You know, your music is so soothing, and it really provides like a very needed type of energy right now in the world, considering all the craziness and the chaos, you know? So when I was listening to your project and just really like thinking about the title Higher Place, I started to think about like, what is my higher place? Like, what are our higher places? You know, so I wanted to kind of ask you, like, what
that's for you to decide, you know what I mean? But for I and I, is a higher state of mind, you know, a higher state of living, you know what I mean? A higher state of consciousness, you know? Like I said earlier, it's on a next sphere, you know, it's not even about the physical, it's about the spiritual, you know what I mean? For me, so, you know what I mean? It's a way of living, you know what I mean? So, and it's for us, like the majority of people want a better state of living for mankind.
Yeah.
So it's not like a dream or a place, is a reality what we can make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It can happen. It's not like you know, it's not like one of those things that it's for a week and then it's gone.
Yeah.
It is a journey. You know what I mean? So me, I take it. So me on the way. You understand?
How long did it take you to figure that out? Like find that within yourself?
Say that again?
How long did it take you to find and figure out your own higher place?
I mean, there's no say God. You know what I mean? So for me, to have a further my consciousness and understanding of my Father, so you know, is right there. So for me, so when me look, it's simple. You know what I mean? When me look and see what's going on, you know what I mean? You know, so things is not right. So you know what I mean? We as the people right now, you know what I mean? We have the power, so we have to know these things. You know what I mean? And we have to get to it, and we have to. Once we start going, we have to keep going, because we can't go back.
Yeah.
Like me saying the song, we go forward, never back. Right. So,
Skip, what do you think your purpose is? Like, what's your purpose on this earth?
My purpose is just to spread the consciousness and the upliftment and the love and, you know, the real freedom and the spirit and of life, you know what I mean? And the whole, you know, it's past colors and borders and barriers and all those things. You know, the music is more powerful than all those things to me. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So the message in the music is the food. You know what I mean? It's the food for people to eat. Yeah. So, you know. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you, and you kind of answered it already, like, where did you find your passion for music? But I feel like it's
I mean, it's like I said, it's in us.
Yeah.
But growing up, there's always being around it. I mean, probably went to the most shows, you know, no other kids in school was going, you know, we was always at, you know, peer shows and things were always, so, you know, that was just a part of us, you know, so. But there was a time when I had to make the choice, or it chose me, I would say.
Okay.
Probably when I was like 14, my uncle Steven brought me out on the stage. And after that, It's everything, you know. Everything changed for me. The whole thing and the spirit. Is that the first time that someone feel the spirit?
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, just in your creative process, just talk about how you create and what in your in working with her, because we have
Yeah.
people today that are performers and we have people that are artists, and you're a true artist, and everything that goes into the creation of the music and the mood and everything you're setting. And how was that like working with her, who I know, is a true artist as
Well,
well?
honestly, let me tell you, unfortunately, I wish she got to, come in the studio with me, but, unfortunately, whatever, we couldn't make it happen, so,
Right.
sent the track, you know what I mean? She sent back the full dinner, you know what I mean? The full cake, yeah.
I was a little jealous, Skip, when I was
About,
when I was watching your video with her and your performance.
what you jealous about?
I don't know. You guys were just real cute, and I don't know.
We're cute.
I was just I was a little jealous. I was like, I wish I was her. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, no, man, everything cool, man. No, I'm telling you, man, everything is perfect.
Well, so talk about, I know you did something with the School of Rock, like right kind of when the pandemic was at its height.
Yeah.
How is it like performing from home? And again, you grew up in a house where everybody was already performing, but performing in or rehearsing with other people, in home, is it a process you had to change from,
No, it's like rehearsal, It's like a rehearsal, but
Yeah.
it's live, so there's no mistakes.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just I feel the people the same way, I know that them will watch this, you know what I mean? I know so them will watch. So, you know what I mean, that connection is still there, but it's just, I mean, we have these type of platforms that we can use now to still push, music and positivity in these times and togetherness. So, still very grateful to have that too,
yeah. So you released your EP, and we're kind of in the middle of a pandemic. Did you go through like any problems or any setbacks because of the pandemic, or did it help or hurt your creative process? Like, what are some of the things you went through in releasing the EP?
Yeah, I mean, it would be totally different if there wasn't a pandemic, of course, but it was still blessed, you know what I mean? We still have life, so we're grateful every day and we give thanks still, But there was not really no hiccups, because I still had everything is virtual, I had my one in mask, everybody, I'm in a place, so
You're in Jamaica, so in Jamaica everybody's wearing masks and everything?
Yeah, but right now I'm in Miami, but in Jamaica too. Yeah, man, you're not playing the game. We can't play the games right now, people.
Right.
So when the pandemic first started, this is a little bit outside of music. When the pandemic first started, we all kind of decided we were going to watch Netflix and we were going to do nothing. What did you do when the pandemic first started? Like, were you eating Doritos like the rest of us, or were you trying to still be creative?
No, me didn't know. So the pandemic I got started. Come here, me I watch things, me not just watch this news alone. Me look for news from all about. You know what I mean? So me see this breeze, it's like the breeze a blow. You know what I mean? So so the breeze a come. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Skip, you got family members on the EP, which I'm not surprised. Obviously your grandfather, Bob Marley, kind of, one of his sayings, and then
it's him set the whole tone at a higher place, listening. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Damien, your uncle, Damien Marley, is featured on the song as well.
Yeah, that was like a dream for me. Still a dream.
Really? Your uncle?
What do you mean? Reaching, remember, growing up, watching them, you know what I mean? To reach that place now, it's such a, to me,
Are they hard on
work you? With my uncle, is a huge thing for me.
But you've been on the stage with him so many times, right?
Not that many times. We've done it, but, being on the track, that's a whole different thing. Yeah. That's a whole different thing, man. That is not just, that will live forever. That is forever.
Right.
Yeah. And that is like, what? My uncle did what? Come on. That is like huge for me. Nothing never top that. Nothing
Wow.
top that. Yeah, man.
Dex, you were gonna say, like, is he hard on him, right?
Yeah, are your family members hard on you, or is it
Yeah.
they let you flow?
Yeah, man, but we need that sometime, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it's not, yeah, it's make with flow, of course, you know what I mean? But when you're beginning, you know what I mean? Everything you go through, you know? We go through. So my first songs, was my uncle them, I bring my songs to, you know, my uncle them listen and them tell me, you know what I mean? So that is a thing, you know, that is a part of it. So, you know, when my first song I write, I bring it to my mother tell me, write love songs. It was more of a militant type of song. I remember, yeah. My mother tell me, remember me coming there with the guitar, I'm walking there, my mother said, love songs. You know? So yeah, that
Really?
stick with me, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Shout out to Mama.
Right.
Yeah,
We got all these amazing love songs because of Mama.
Yeah.
So what were your songs before she said that? What were they sounding like?
I mean, there's still, it's just a little more militancy, you know, and about certain topics and a little more, you know, edgy, as they would say. Yeah.
So where's that music? Is it like locked
That
away in the vault?
No, man, that music is still there, man. That music is coming. Yeah, man.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, man, that music is coming, man. Yeah, man.
So I know, like, making an EP and creating an album, it's a baby. So you know, you love everything about your baby. But if you had to pick a track that you love the most from Higher Place, like, what would you pick?
That's not true. Like I said, that's not true. My Uncle D.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
That makes sense.
Yeah, man.
So in the studio, describe that, being with your uncle making music?
I mean, you know, I don't know, me did have the track. I remember I bring 2 tracks for him and I played the track and I said, man, that one there.
Got it.
So I remember I just have the track, a loop, and just start vibes, and we'll start vibes. So, all right, man, I'm going on the boot.
Wait,
and
what do you
start vibes, and we'll start bounce lyrics, and you know what I mean? Yeah, man, and it's natural, you know?
What do you most looking forward to after quarantine? Because you know you release this project, and usually when artists release music, there's so many things that come with it.
Performing is the only thing that I was supposed to go do that right before this thing, you know, take a kick off. So yeah, I'm still looking forward to that, you know. Yeah, that's still coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if
stay ready, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
So Skip, in your life, you're pretty young. Like, is there time to date? Are you dating? Like,
right now, no, sir.
No.
Me can't do that, sir, right now. No. Can't go do that right now.
Dating the album. He's dating the EP right now.
Right. And getting ready to date the next project.
Right now. Quarantine and yeah.
I like that you're responsible. You know, he said we're quarantined. Like, how can we date?
You know what I mean? I have to be, because who I am around, you know what I mean? So I can't go, you know, put certain thing at risk because of the way I feel. That doesn't make no sense.
Yeah. I wish
I have to look on things on the bigger scope, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So have our own desires or whatever.
I wish I was responsible as you.
Right. Wait, Skip. So all of us, with the exception of Dexter, we've thought we've had the corona at one point, and we had to get tested.
Get off of this.
I'm used to it. I don't leave the house. I'm just like,
oh, you good. All right. So me and him.
But
the interview.
I got 3 tests, so I've never had the corona, but I thought I had the corona at one point.
I got 2, but I didn't think I had it either time. It was more like precautionary. They just wanted to make sure. And I didn't go anywhere. Really? I mean, I did, but not really.
Skip, so we're starting to play.
Like I really like when I go there, you can't even know it says me when me. Nothing.
He's going to show up like this.
Everything full, everything. You can't, a mask, everything. Blackout. You don't even know that. Yeah, man, I can't, you know what I mean? Yeah, man, I'm in the out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, that is not my thing right now.
Skip, so this song, I mean, your first song was major, right? So now you have the song Make Me Feel with Ari and Rick Ross, right? So was that deliberate? Like, why Ari Lennox and Rick Ross?
No, the Rick Ross was deliberate. The Ari Lennox part wasn't.
Okay.
The Ari Lennox was actually brought in through the label, and I never even know, honestly, to tell you the truth, about Ari Lennox. You know what I mean? And then I start diving into her thing, and I said, whoa!
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, this voice so sweet. Who is this?
Mm-hmm.
And say, Ari Lennox. Type in that. So, oh! You know?
Yes, she's a beast.
Yeah,
Big thanks, big thanks, and shout out to them, for being a part of us. Big up.
Why Rick Ross? I mean, this is your first like rap feature on the radio. Why?
That's natural, man. Rick Ross he showed his appreciation for certain things, and I've done. My uncle's tracks as well. He was done a track with my uncle Steven as well. So, it was just like and the vibe. Him did have the vibe, but you hear the rhythm and this everything when me I sing him capture it. So it was just a fit to me.
So in the video, there's women playing soccer.
Yeah.
What? Like, talk to us about that. Was that your idea? Like,
no. Lacey.
Of that?
Lacey do.
I'm listening.
Shout out to Lacey do.
Oh, okay. So what does that have to do with the song? Like break us. Like,
whatever makes you feel good, feel good, yeah. This life,
Mm-hmm.
I just choose certain things, and everybody will choose certain things. Me just pick and me just more careful when me pick and choose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the soccer, are there sports that you're fans of, or
of course, all sports. I'm very active from a child, always in a sports and everything. I always was want to play everything. Why not? Tennis.
Tennis.
What you do? Hit it. Too hard. No man. Everything, yeah, man. We're just out there, we just love being active. Physical is very important.
Yeah.
Very important. It's hand in hand, You have to be physically fit, mentally. Yeah.
So now that your career is really starting to take off, what is like one of the major things that have happened to you that you're like, I can't even believe? I mean, I know you're very humble, Skip, and but has anything happened where you're like, wow, this is amazing. Like, thank you so much.
Yeah, just seeing the amount of people, the amount of people. Yeah, that means a lot. That is probably the thing for me.
Yeah.
Reaching the people, because that's what it's about for me, It's not for me.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm gonna do it for me. It's not about me,
And just seeing those reactions and everything like that from people being touched by your message.
Yeah, it's more, the music thing is more than just, music is very powerful,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's a chant, it's an enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
Even on her, I've been on like her social media pages, and people will talk about you on her posts and her pages. It's just like, well, where is Skip at?
That them I said.
I told you I was a little jealous, Skip. I was like, what's going on here?
Whoa. Why are you jealous?
I don't know. There's a lot going on there, Skip. I was like, oh, I don't know. And I remember I was talking about it on the radio, Skip, and I was like, you know what? I don't know why, but I felt like this little jealousy when I was watching them in the video. I don't know where that's coming from.
No, man. Why you jealous?
I don't know. There's a lot going on there. But Skip, thank you so much for joining us. You guys want to add anything?
Oh, no. Thank you for coming.
Yes, I thank you for coming so much.
Yeah, virtually. Yeah, man. What do you mean?
Virtually.
Yeah.
You're here in spirit. We feel you.
Yes, thank you.
So Skip Marley, his debut EP is out right now. It's called The Higher Place. And we look forward to more things from you, Skip. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll probably soon see you again in the world.
Yes. And every time I see you, Skip, I'm going to run down your accolades. Because I know that you're humble and it makes you feel uncomfortable.
So that the next time.
No! It makes you feel uncomfortable.
Hopefully
I know.
The next time you come at one of the shows, so we can't really get into that. You just shut off and
But we have to give people their flowers. We have to congratulate people, and we have to acknowledge them, and we have to tell them how amazing they are, because life is short, especially during this pandemic. None of us thought that we were going to be locked down. People are passing away. It makes you really appreciate life, and it makes you want to tell people how great they are and what they mean to you.
True, but you know me is just cool, you know, sure.
All right. Well, thank you, Skip. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, Mina, bless up yourself.
Yeah, bye. Bless up.
Yes. Bye, and big up yourself.
Bye. Oh. Why am I blushing?
Because you were jealous.
Because you was jealous of her. Call her up and tell her.
Okay.
Next time Mina wants to be the body double for the video.
Yeah, right. Can I be the video girl?
No, I'm not doing that. Don't put me in the video girl category. That I will not be doing.
You'll be the love interest.
No, but they had so much chemistry. I don't know why. I was like, wait a minute.
You can see
Remember though, Mina, back in the day, some video girls, it was not bad. Like, remember, people would specifically choose celebrities to be their love interest in the video. So all video girls are not created equal. Just saying.
Beyonce was a video girl at one point.
Yeah, she was. Remember, she was in a couple little videos.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Monica video? Tyrese was in the Monica video.
Yeah.
So when they were preparing for the Versus battle, I was watching old videos, and I saw that Tyrese was in one of her videos.
First night. Yeah.
So his manager is still on. I'm gonna hang up on him.
He probably is on the phone and doesn't even realize.
Bye. Oh, he just got off.
Wait, he probably heard it through his thing. You know, sometimes you assume the Zoom just ended and you don't be paying attention. Just don't do that with any pants off. Just tell me. Make sure you're off the Zoom before you walk around.
Isn't he amazing, guys?
No, he was great.
So amazing. I
think from the beginning he came in, and maybe I was a little biased because I was pre-warned by you that he's so humble and whatnot.
No.
But the aura of his room, I'm like, Tim, do I have time to change my background? I want to be.
Right.
And that's what I think the good word is. His whole full aura is just
It just says a lot about someone that literally, when you pay him a compliment, he's so humble, and it's almost like he doesn't want the compliment to be paid, and I get it, but he's doing a lot of amazing things, and especially for reggae music and Jamaicans, and he is a champion for a lot of people. And it's crazy, when I interviewed him the first time, the reaction that I got from his fan base, and how they were listening to the interview and tweeting and excited about it. So
I was about to say, I was going to say while going back to him, but I didn't want to say it wrong, because my brother-in-law, he is Jamaican, but he's American born. But when he's around his family, it fully comes out. And because they have my niece who's younger, he tries to teach her a lot of things sometimes. So she says it right, but I don't say it right. And I started to say it, and then I caught my tongue no, we're not gonna be like Mina last week with extra syllables and letters.
We're not cursing on the podcast.
I know. That's why I said extra syllables and letters.
By the way, the reaction we've been getting to the Sukihana interview, literally, shout out to my friend DJ Brand. He's from Delaware. So I was telling him that
right.
he was she was on the podcast. He was like, yeah, she from Delaware, and he was just really excited about, you know, the interview. So you know, thank you to Skip. Thank you to his team for having him come and bless us today. And I feel so zen.
I know. I want to go like meditate right now.
Well, now now that I told him I was a little jealous, I can leave that in the past, and I'm not gonna bring it up no more.
You sure?
You got it out.
And I was debating too. I'm like, should I tell him? I don't know why. I felt like I don't know why that emotion came over me.
I don't even know if you knew that you were doing it. You were sitting there. You were like, I was so jealous. And then
right. Because you was like, it looked like you were about to say something else, and then you were like, you know what? I just gotta let this go.
I'll put it out there.
I don't know. I think, to be honest, I think that humble men and people who are not full of themselves, that's one of the sexiest and most attractive qualities about a person. You know, someone who you've known has achieved a lot. And it's just not him. I'm saying in general, I find that to be a very attractive quality, which is why I really enjoy Kendrick Lamar and, you know, J. Cole. People who are not very too flashy, or, you know, they're very, they have their priorities in check, you know, and
their ego. They have their ego in check too.
Right. So I think that's really attractive, you know.
Kanye West need not apply, huh?
What?
Kanye West need not apply.
No. He's very, I can't be with a man that talks about himself all the time. Like, you see, even with Skip in general, when you start talking about his greatness, he's just like, it's the people and it's everybody else. And
Kanye can't help it. It's the Gemini in him.
Oh, he's a Gemini.
Yes.
Oh.
He can't help it. He gets it honest, especially Gemini men. They're a little different. I read you this list before. Alan, love him. Tupac, love him. But very outspoken people, very dynamic.
Skip Marley's a Gemini? Did not know that.
No. I was saying Kanye.
Oh!
Skip is probably like Aquarius or something really.
Or like calm. A Libra or like a Libra.
Yeah.
He was born at the beginning of June. So what is that?
Oh, yeah.
He's not a Gemini. Is he a Gemini?
At the beginning of June.
What's his birthday?
June 4th.
He is definitely a Gemini. Gemini starts in May and runs to June 22nd.
Hold on, let's Google it.
I don't really count people on the 23rd as Gemini. Well, no, 22nd, they try to claim Gemini.
He's a Gemini. He's a Gemini.
We have a lot of creative people. We have Prince.
I got crazy people too.
But yes, we have some of the men. Donald Trump is one as well. Some of the men.
Donald Trump and Skip are the same sign.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. This is when astrology kind of goes out the window a little bit.
Well, again, you know, they say we have these level signs. Like mine is happy sad. Because I could go from, like, even today when I did start crying, everybody was just like, well, it's her.
Yo, that's
the norm.
And everybody's like, okay, anyway, what did you want to order? Because
we should do an episode on that too, on like the zodiac signs, because I'm always curious about it, but I don't really know it, and you guys seem like experts, so we should do that.
I only know certain signs, you know.
We should do it next week. We delve in with all our expertise in the different ones.
Okay. Let's wrap up our Breonna Taylor conversation though, because I felt like we really didn't finish that, and I wanted to talk about it because, you know, everybody has been champion an actual indictment or a charge. Yeah. I mean, Beyonce even, you know, and it's just unfortunate. You know, it's unfortunate that they prepared for this and for her family. I saw someone on social media when I tweeted about it. I saw someone say like, oh, well, her family got $12 million and there's police reforms that are happening because of this case. I'm like, okay, but the people that are responsible are not being held accountable.
Right. And $12 million is not...
Doesn't bring her back.
And it's not like, in that moment, nothing is going to bring her back. And even the charges won't bring her back. But for families that definitely have like a violence, you want that moment where you hear that they are being judged and imprisoned because of this. Like you sometimes need it for like your closure to know like, okay, justice was served, although justice will never be served in the loss and death of her, and senseless, like completely senseless. And that's why, again, I just go back to the charges. Like, so it was more dangerous for him to potentially put people in harm, but he's not dangerous that he murdered her. Like, I don't get that.
And they were talking.
I'm sorry, Dex. I was going to say, I also think it's interesting. One of the things they pointed out, because we didn't know a lot, they were holding back to let us know in the investigation, is that none of the body cams were on. Yeah. They actually said body cams they don't have any body cam footage until the patrol officers arrived after the fact. And those patrol officers had but these police that should have had a body cam on, you're supposed to, when you have a no-knock warrant, none of them had one on. Just saying.
And also, one thing that stuck out to me today is that when they were given details, they talked about eyewitnesses. And remember before, like, this took months for us to get some answers on this. And
6 months.
Yeah, and there was no conversation about any eyewitnesses. And there were journalists who said, we went there, we knocked on doors to see if we could find any witnesses, and they couldn't find anybody. Then the police were like, oh yeah, we found these neighbors who said like they did hear them announce themselves as the police. And it's like, well, who are these people and where were they, previously? Like, we never heard anything from them. Like, this is...
Which, again, is a lie, because that's the whole, well, I feel like it's a lie, because the whole point of a no-knock warrant is they don't announce themselves, which is why now the legislation has been changed. So I'm like, so you all of a sudden, when you knew by law at the time you didn't have to announce yourself, you're now saying, to your point, this independent witness just comes out of nowhere now and saying, oh, we heard them from apartment across the hall or wherever the independent witness is from.
Well, there's that is potentially a lie. It sounds like a lie. But then there's also the fact that they did have a no-knock warrant. So I feel like they're using that as an excuse for them to go in and basically shoot up the apartment. So that's why they haven't been charged. But, the issue is the fact that anybody can even do that. And, I think in this next election, we really need to put pressure on the people that are, running or even become our next leaders to create a uniform legislation when it comes to what is allowed and not allowed. The fact that you can show up to someone's house without letting them know that the police are there. You came in the middle of the night. They thought you were an intruder. Yeah, you was going to get shot at. You intruding in my house. I think that I'm protecting my house.
Okay. I was going to say, to your point, because now in Kentucky it's called Breonna's Law, but to just paying attention to what is happening in your city and state, like, that might be the case in Louisville, but people need to pay attention to what the law is in Philadelphia and Wilmington and all these places. Like, those are the things you do need to pay attention to, because and again, it's unfortunate, but if this wouldn't have happened, they would have never changed that. And the reason why it's even more unfortunate is because that police officer that was charged on these dumb charges, he had been, like, again, not charged with anything, but had been, like, suspended before.
He's no longer a police officer.
But he was but 2 years prior to this happening in March, he had been suspended because of excessive behavior and another no-knock warrant that nobody died in that instance, but he apparently went above and beyond what should have been done. So it's like he already had this pattern of behavior, and because he knew he could do it, I can just bust in these people. He just was doing it. How many people probably have not come forward or didn't think they could? Again, unfortunately, she happened to pass, but this obviously was part of his MO and feeling like by law he can. So again, pay attention to the laws in your city and state, because they're all different. But and vote. Make sure you're voting for the right people.
Well, and that's what I was gonna say. These are the different loopholes, because in different cities and different counties and different states, people can get away with different things, and that's really the problem. Like, there needs to be a uniform code of what is acceptable, what is not acceptable, and there needs to be a uniform code of what punishment is, whether you're a police officer or a civilian, because that's really what the problem is, that there's all these little loopholes. Well, in Kentucky, you can do this, and in Florida, you can do that, and in here, you can do this. And it comes from the fact that we were individual states, you know, prior to us coming together, you know, and it comes from, you know, people's civil liberties and every state's ability to want to, you know, I guess, control their territory in a different way. But when you're talking about people's lives and police, you know, there needs to be a standard. And it's crazy because I was talking to Young T and Bugsy, the guys that created the Don't Rush song, and they were saying that in the UK, the police don't even carry guns. So it's not even like a threat as a black man to think that a police officer is going to kill you.
You go to Amsterdam, you don't even see police. Like, you see a cop, and then you have to remember, like, oh, dang, like, I haven't seen one the whole time I've been here. You know, and I do think the other thing that is truly, truly unfortunate, too, is, you know, when people even talk about the $12 million that her family was awarded in the civil case, there are, again, just going towards, you know, Black lives and Black Lives Mattering. There are other cases, you know, where, and I can't remember his full name, but there was a Black police officer, Muhammad something, and he murdered a white woman. Wasn't doing a no-knock warrant, but again, same circumstance, that she wasn't doing anything. They deemed it as excessive force. He's in jail for life, and her family was awarded something like 30-40 million. And again, it's just like, when we go back to, you know, how are things equal, and the inequality in the way that things are viewed and the way that things are handled.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how, you know, things unravel, but I mean, this is history that we're watching, and you know, I hope that this fuels people to really understand the severity of the upcoming election, because we need our next leaders to do something on a federal scale to address the issue, so everybody knows what you can and can't do, what the punishments are if you do, and it's not like a loophole. Everybody knows the rules. Everybody follows the same rules. If you break the rules, you know what the consequences are, and the consequences are not different for people, for officers across different states. So, because I've never even heard of a wanton endangerment. I had to Google that.
I had to look that up too.
Like, what is that?
Yeah, like, as soon as I seen it come up, I'm like,
like wonton soup? I was like, why y'all named it wonton?
Well, I think it's like pronounced like wanton.
Oh.
I didn't want to say anything if it was a serious topic. When you kept saying that, I was like, I don't think it's wonton. I was like,
what is it? It spelled wonton. I'm like, what are we doing? Wonton soup?
But with that though, I don't understand how every situation of violence doesn't fall under that. Like, if I fight somebody in my home and I throw them up against the wall, or, you know, we get physical in the house, whatever, wouldn't that be the same thing? Like, why are we as a society just now kind of hearing this word?
Because like, it's a bullshit charge is what it is.
I'm in an apartment complex. If I shoot out of my window by accident, wouldn't that be what I just caused?
Yeah. But apparently, if you kill the person, no, I don't know, you might...
Right, but again, that no knock warrant gives him the right to go in there and do whatever. And because her boyfriend shot at them, that gave them open fire to just basically shoot up the apartment. So that's really what's saving them. I mean, now that you don't have the no knock warrant, now it'll be a different situation because the law has been passed where that's not allowed. But that's really what's protecting them. And it's like, I don't understand. You bust into someone's house in the middle of the night. What do you think is going to happen?
And again, we don't know if that's a lie, because the Attorney General was very clear about that in his pushing this off now to the feds, that, again, because they don't have any body cam footage to verify either story, the police or the boyfriend, because the boyfriend is saying, I shot back at them as they were shooting. And the cops are saying
that he shot first.
So literally what the Attorney General said is, we just had to go off of ballistics, which don't mean nothing. You come to a crime scene, You see shell casings doesn't tell you who shot first. And these now independent witnesses that we don't know where they came from.
This is just slimy.
It's just protecting them, unfortunately, and it's really, really sad. And then now and again, like I said, you push it off, so it's like not my problem. Now go
to the federal government,
to the feds, right? Because he said they should handle it. I'm like, no, you're the Attorney General of this city, and that's like you're the one that's supposed to handle it. That's what you're elected for.
Right, and that's what people need to think about in that state. This is your attorney. This is an elected seat, you know? So when you don't vote, this is what happens. You have these people who have zero regard for our lives, and they don't charge people because of that disregard for our lives. Because if you had regard for someone's life, you would charge somebody with more than something we've never heard about, some wonton soup shit. Like, you would have actually gave an actual, like, maybe, involuntary manslaughter. I mean,
I was just about to say a manslaughter charge. And I know this is going too far, but I love Snap and I watch all the time. There's a woman in Philadelphia right now sitting in jail for life because her and her boyfriend had an argument. And I actually saw the video, didn't want to see it, but she was drunk. She hops over in the car and he must have said, like, I'm gonna walk home. She turns the car, and then they did say, has she going straight and lost control because her blood alcohol was high. And again, she had heels on, hopping from inside the car, from one side to the other. They would have believed her story. Like, she said her heels got caught, whatever. And she probably turned the car in anger, like, oh, he gonna walk home. But when she turned the car, she did lose control and wind up hitting him. And this is her husband.
Involuntary manslaughter.
Obviously, she's so upset, like she killed her husband. Obviously, it wasn't purpose. It wasn't like I hate him. It was an argument. So she's already dealing with her own grief, and now she gets charged with manslaughter. So that's just my thing is, so how can citizens be held to a higher standard than people who are supposed to, by law, protect and serve us? And that's just the fundamental issue. Like, it's just not okay.
It's just it's that no knock warrant, basically. It's like a blanket license to go in there and do whatever, which is ridiculous. It has no consideration for people's homes, their private property, like, I mean, and mind you, it's with the assumption that these people that you're going into their home are guilty. But it's like, okay, maybe one person is guilty. I don't, in this particular case, they thought that the boyfriend was a drug dealer, whatever. This is what gave them the authority to get the warrant. But it's like, how about if there were children in this house?
They wouldn't.
Like, you would have killed a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, a child. Like, there's so much wrong with that. You have to hold people. You have to give people the benefit of the doubt and have a little bit of regard for human lives. And that's just sometimes not there. So thank you guys for watching and listening. Thank you, Skip Marley.
Yeah, thank you, Skip.
And please subscribe on YouTube. And thank you guys. It's the 147th. Oh my God. 147th episode of the Mina's House podcast. I'm Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana B.
Dex the 1.
2, 3. And we're out. Bye.